For years now, I've been putting in effort to make my way through all my book series, and yet never seem to make any progress. Throughout these vlogs, I'll be using various techniques to finish these series in the goal to get the current number of series below 20.
Hello, hi, welcome to the. I think I'm gonna have a new intro that's in every single one of these series vlogs. I do have to film that. That means, but that's a thing that you hopefully just saw. This is where I finish series. I believe the number is 58. I believe the number is 58 right now. We love that for me. Honestly, that's really good. That's the best I've been in years. Mostly because I made a separate category, and if you didn't see the video where I went through every single series I'm in the middle of, which I don't know why you would. That was a me thing only. There was the fact that I made two whole new categories, which is Softy and F books that I'm going to or series I'm going to restart, and also series I'm caught up on. So since I'm caught up on them, and there's no more books to read, they shouldn't be like on my currently reading series type thing. And then I have like a section of like when the next one comes out, I'll move them up and blah blah blah. Speaking of which, one that just came in the mail today. That's why we're starting this today. I have not started the first book for this vlog. I will start it promptly in like a few hours. I have 2 hours left in the audiobook that I'm currently reading. And then the next one I will do is The Princess Pact, which is the third book in one of the Melanie Sellier Four Kingdoms series. There's like 5 of these series, and each of the series has at least 4 books, most of them 5 or 6. There's a lot. And they're not, I've heard they get better as you go along. I haven't gone that far. This is the third one in the first series, okay? I did read the novella that was between books 2 and 3 in one of these forever ago. And, you know, I really didn't like the first one, which was, I don't remember the name of it, but it was a retelling Princess Peach. That's the whole thing. They're like weird retellings. Like, they're not the ones you expect. There are later on, like, Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that. But in the beginning, it is just the weird ones you don't expect, like Princess and the Pea. I know there's a Goose Girl at some point. I think I own a few of these on my Kindle. We don't need to talk about it, okay? The second one, I'm pretty sure it was Red Riding Hood, which is honestly the most normal one. That one I actually liked. If you excuse the fact that she or like completely negated the idea of a character arc by making the main character go from villain to hero in a flip of the switch because of magic. That's why. Yeah, I didn't like that aspect. That being said, I did love it. Whoops. And then there were 2 side characters in that one that was the focus of the novella, which I think were Briar Rose and Snow White, if I remember properly. I don't remember properly. I would like, I didn't like it. It was bad. It was worse than the first one, okay? At least the first one was like bad in a fun way. You know, when you need like books that are like bad but in a fun way and enjoyable. I'm one of those people who watches bad movies and enjoys it. Yeah, this is the third book in that series, and it is Rumpelstiltskin. Yep. It's gonna be real issue not to picture, if actual Rumpelstiltskin is in this, it's gonna be issue not to picture him as the man, the myth, the legend from Once Upon a Time. Because I'm sorry, how am I not supposed to picture him? Okay. So that's the thing. I don't know what the actual plot is. There is actual plot in these. I should mention this. There's like a whole entire like multi-country war political intrigue thing going on in the background of this universe. Which is a wild time, let me tell you. But you know, that's not important. That's not important. What's important is this. I was waiting for this to come in. It is the 4th that I'm recording this. So if you were there for the Bloodmarked, spoiler what this is, Bloodmarked debacle, I pre-ordered it from Barnes & Noble. I did the same thing with this. which was very fun because it got here a week and a half late, I'm pretty sure. And I was just tracking it on my phone and I could see it do a giant circle around me and I was so annoyed. So annoyed. Hated it. I heard they had gone better. And I did have a Barnes & Noble gift card from Bessie. I thought it was $10. It was actually $15. I will tell you now, as I try to open this, my sister says it's a big one, by the way. She did open it from the side. Like the rude person she is. Oh my god, why is this so difficult? Anyways, I got the special edition. Because when I ordered it, the special edition was a solid $1 cheaper than the normal hardcover. So like, of course I'm gonna get it. Are you kidding me? Anyways, I'm gonna open it like this. Gotta make sure no information. Anyways, open it. Oh my god, it is thick. It's so thick. Why is it banked up on top? I'm only slightly annoyed. Oh, thank god, the sticker's removable. The Barnes & Noble exclusive edition sticker's removable. I can move this back into place. Some demons will devour you whole. Is this about Cell? I love Cell so much. Is this Cell? Is Cell up here? Is this Cell? I need to know. Is that Cell? Anyways, in case you don't know, Legendborn's my favorite book of all time. The series is like my favorite series. Anyways, oh my god, I forgot because I got special edition. It's got actual. Oh my god, how long is this book? Another issue for another second. Anyways, the new book smell. Anyways, it smells nice. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. We love this. I have a trick for removing the sticker residue, so honestly I don't mind if there's residue as long as I can get the sticker off. That is what I really care about. Well, it's a piece of shit and it's ripped. Not the book cover, the sticker itself ripped, but it's not leaving any residue. So there's a chance I can get. Okay, so the bottom part came off weird, so I gotta do my trick there, but the rest of it came off pretty good. I probably would have done the trick anyways. So anyways, oh my god, okay. It's beautiful. First, don't look at anything beside page numbers. Oh right, because I got Barnes & Noble's edition, I get bonus chapter. I was like, what's this? Bonus chapter. Oh, not bonus chapter, it's an annotated version. Okay. Okay, so it's like a scene or something from Cell's thoughts and opinions about it that can't be technically canon because it's from her POV. But we got the things that I'm not going to look at because I don't want to know how the table changed. 642. And then the bonus or extra chapter thing. Oh, look at her. She's gorgeous. Oh, I love her. Okay, I need to show you the artwork. Oh my goodness. Look at her. Oh, I think it's the same. Is it the same? I think it is the same on both sides. Anyways, mommy happy. I'm mommy. I love this. I am so happy. I do plan to read it during this vlog. Did I mention that? I'm gonna read this during this vlog and then it can go in the caught up. There's multiple series I plan to finish, including one not mango. I'm in the mindset of mango. Series that I'm reading. Is there anything else? I don't know. There's also gonna be vampire smut because that's the vibe I'm in. So, you know, um, good times. Anyways, I'm getting most of the sticker off just by rubbing it, honestly. Not my baby oil trick. That's the trick, by the way. Yeah, it all came out pretty good. Anyways, I'm excited. Also, I love how it's got the shimmery, because I think the exclusive edition, I believe, for Bloodmarked, but it does have a little bit of shimmery in red and blue for her magic. So the fact that this one's purple, iconic. The daggers on her thighs, iconic. Anyways, I'm gonna go. I'm so happy, so happy, happy girl. I should not just open up the book to a random page. No, Rose, don't do it. Don't do it. I fear what it's gonna do to me. I'm very happy you can't see all my laundry that's right there. There's so much. I said tomorrow, me issue. I call this look. It's 10:30 p.m. I did finish it like an hour ago. Whoops. What am I don't know. Anyways, I finished it. And I didn't like it. I love how the Red Riding Hood's my favorite one. In this one, Marie is the secret daughter of Rumpelstiltskin. My favorite part, because this came out in 2017, my favorite part is that every time he's described as like scaly. Like, you know, Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. Hilarious. That was the best part. That was great. Because I think the only other thing I've seen Rumpelstiltskin in is Shrek. Whichever version. Because he's in the fourth one, but he's in the second one, I think. Right? I forget that when I sit here I have to put something there so that ignore my knee. I'm wearing shorts so that it doesn't slide. Anyways, yeah, no, that's the only Rumpelstiltskin I know of. And he doesn't look like that. Anyway, she's the secret daughter of Rumpelstiltskin, who is just a guy who feels betrayed, and like his country was stolen from him, which is a country she is the princess of, right? And so, basically, the like spinning gold Rumpelstiltskin aspect is that her mother's father bragged that his daughter could spin straw into gold, and so Marie's father's father, who was the king at the time, was all like, "Oh, you want to bet? People are dying of starvation. You want to bet this can actually, like, this is actually a thing," trying to make him look bad. So he had her taken from her room as like a 16-year-old by soldiers. Wild. I don't support this king. He's dead. But I don't support this king. And so the mother is forced to be like is locked in this room until she can spin gold, right? But obviously she can, and she's told that if she fails, she will be locked into the dungeons for the rest of her days. But she succeeds, she can marry his son. Anyways, she makes a deal with Rumpelstiltskin, and he spins the gold for her just in time, and or he uses a magical object. There's no actual like him having magic. It's just him having magical objects. So that happens, just in time, and she gets married. Thankfully, the prince's not a bad guy, and they do fall in love. Anyways, then you may be wondering, hey, won't they ask her to make gold from straw again? And the answer is no, because the government is worried that if she can do that and she just does that, it will ruin the monetary value of gold and ruin the whole entire monetary system. That part also kind of funny. I kind of like that. Anyways, so she doesn't have to worry about that. Marries the prince. They fall in love. Have a son who is Will, Marie's older brother, and then they go off into the woods basically, uh in like this cabin for her to give birth. But secretly, it's all because Rumpelstiltskin's secret, like her deal with Rumpelstiltskin, was not to give up her firstborn, but to raise his child as her own, right? Um, so, uh, yeah. Uh, and her thing was like, I have to have like a child of my own first, so that there wouldn't be like issues with like who becomes the ruler and whatnot next type thing, right? Um, so Marie, her whole life has been dealing with the fact that she's not the typical princess, right? And then Laura says, and she goes, "Oh fuck!" And also, her biological father is a maniac who is somehow controlling the youth of um groups of people who live in the woods so that he can have an army of their children. And then her brother goes missing, assumably to go check that out, with a guy named Rafe. So she goes, "Oh god, I gotta go check this out myself. I gotta go track down Will and also meet my biological father." And that Rafe guy, I kind of liked him. So she does that, and it's a lot of her just dealing with the people there, and also getting to know her biological father, who, as you can imagine, not a great guy. Using a gemstone to mind control people. I think in the Red Riding Hood, the gemstone was stolen in that one. I don't know. Anyways, this has all been his super secret plan because um, this is the throne that was stolen from him apparently, and so by uh killing the king and queen and putting his daughter on the throne, right? Who knows? Well, he doesn't know what his plan for Will be. Basically, I think Will's whole point is to be a bargaining chip, uh, to like control her because then he can get her to do what he wants as she sits on the throne. And the reason why he wanted her to be raised in royalty, especially this royalty, but royalty in general, is so that she had the aspects of like royalty. I really thought it was gonna be a thing throughout the book. Like she can get people to do things for her. Kind of like she and the people. The way it's described as people do things for her. If even if they don't initially want to, just because they like her that much. And I thought it was like gonna be this thing where because he can do that and that's how he's controlling the youth, she is going to like that's a magical ability she has from being his biological daughter. But no, he has a magical gemstone, and that's just a thing. um. Anyways, oh no, they gotta return to the castle to stop before he starts a war. I don't know. The last hour of this book, I don't actually understand what happened. And uh, she saves everybody, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" And she grows as a person because now she can sword fight and shoot a bow. This whole time she's had a flirtation with Rafe, but now, eh, he kills Rumpelstiltskin right before he's about to kill the king, right? Um, and she's all like, "I love you, Rafe," and he's all like, "I love you too." I don't think they've even kissed once, okay? I remember that being a thing in the rest of them. At least the romance in Red Riding Hood 1 had room to grow. Anyways, so that happens. And then he goes to her father to be like, "I want to marry your daughter. And like, I just saved your life, so you should totally give me her hand in marriage." Um, right? But she's all like, "I'm a princess. Technically, we can't get married, so like don't ask him. Oh my god, how could this happen to me?" Because I would like to know one other thing I liked about this is the fact that while she was like part of a bargain and raised by these people who were biologically related to her, her whole entire family is all like, "No, you're our family." Like, you may not biologically be a princess, but you're the princess, you're our daughter, you're our sister, right? Um, anyways, so she's all like, I'm a princess, I can't marry you, blah blah. And one of the very few things that's known about Rafe is that he is the third son. Well, it turns out, I thought this was just a thing that we all knew, but no, apparently not. Um, he's the third son of a king. He's a prince. Oh, now they're getting married. They're in love. Um, he's all like, he calls. He's part of his proposal is telling her, because she's always had anxieties about people not viewing her as like a proper princess, especially now that she knows that she's not like she's not actually a princess technically. So like now people can't say that you're not a princess. But none of that matters because in my heart, you're the queen. That was actually the last line. It literally did that, and then thank you for listening to this audiobook. It literally said that. I gagged, and then it said, "Thank you for listening to this audiobook." It was medium steps. Yeah. Anyways, 2 stars. I can't wait to read the vampire romance. Maybe next. Maybe next after I read a bunch of other things. Before I read Oathbound. We'll see. Anyways, bye until the next update. Oh my god. Hello, hi, it's finally happened. I finally finished another book for this vlog. It's been over a week because I spent a whole week recording the previous vlog, and it took me like 3 days to read this book, which is the 4th in the Black Dagger Brotherhood. And I have thoughts and opinions. Basically, I rated 3.5. So, like I did the previous one. The second one was my favorite so far at 4 stars. And the reason why, one, it was kind of predictable. Like everything plot-wise that happened, like the main plot stuff, was predictable. Two, I would like to know, I realized why I didn't like Dark Lover when I first read it, and that's why I DNF'd the series after the first one, and didn't plan to ever continue it. And then the 24-hour vlog happened. Which is that I don't like Wrath, who is like the male main character in that one. He's also like the king of the vampires. You know, I don't like him. In this one, I realized that the reason I don't like him is he's the type of person who tells people what to do without letting them explain their reasoning behind doing what they're doing. And then he's like, no, I don't like you're doing that, so do the complete opposite thing. And then when they are pushed beyond their limits, I'm taking a few examples in this book, when they are pushed beyond their limits and do the thing that they said they wouldn't do, he then, in the most blatant example of this, decides to physically assault and hold down what is technically a child, right? Who has a history of being forced and held down as he was assaulted. So, I'm just saying, maybe if like anybody had tried to talk to this child first, before you all just went, don't you dare do this thing, don't you dare do this thing, and then when that other person pushed him beyond his limits and broke, they went, how dare you do this thing we told you not to do, multiple times, despite the fact that we have seen, and multiple people have seen him harass, assault, sexually harass you. Like, Wrath, get a brain cell. And I hate him. I hate him so much. The good news is he's not really in most of these. He's in this one a lot just because this one follows the human in the group, Butch, who just hangs around the vampires. He's like really close with a lot of them. Wrath is in this one a lot because it turns out, because like Butch is dealing with a lot of insecurity, dealing with the fact that like he's a human amongst vampires, and also his great love is also a vampire, so like he can't feed her because yes, they have to feed off of vampires. Well, it works better if they feed off of vampires. So like she has to feed off of another male. And while technically there could be nothing sexual in it, there's like a lot of stuff about the sexuality of that, right? Which is why you can't drink with somebody of the same gender as you, because no, we can't like them homosexuals here. I'll talk about that in a minute. So, so because of that, he decides to go through this whole thing where he figures out if he's possibly descended from vampires. Turns out he is. His mother had an affair. Which explains his whole entire shitty childhood, in which, God, the few scenes we get of his half-sister being like, oh, maybe it was bad that we let our father physically abuse him and then ignored that he existed because that was just better for us. And when our younger sister was murdered, we blamed him for him as an 11-year-old letting a 14-year-old get in a car. Like, what the hell was he supposed to do with a bunch of men? Like, what? Anyways, that pissed me off. Anyways, it turns out his biological father somehow related to Raph. And so, in order to turn into a vampire, he needs Raph's blood and a connection to Raph. And so, Raph's in this one a lot because of that. Is my light strobing? I think so. No. Honey, no. I think it's fine now. Anyways, yeah, so I don't like Raph. Anyways, the homosexual stuff. So, a big part of this, on top of his relationship with, also, I would like to know another thing I don't like Raph, which I learned very early on in this book, is the fact that he says or does things and then doesn't think about the repercussions, especially with the female main character in this one, Marissa, in which I forgot about this from the first one, so thank God they reminded me. She was his supposed to be queen, right? They were basically assigned together, all this stuff. He fed off of her for 300 years. 300 years. And yet throughout all their time together, he wouldn't be with her because she wasn't good enough, and then ended up with a half-breed. And so in the eyes of the vampire aristocrats, the upper class of the vampires, there we go, let's go with that, because I can't pronounce words, she is viewed as, that she's defective. There's something wrong with her. There has to be, right? And so, throughout the beginning of this book, she is constantly ignored by her own people, only allowed at meetings because technically she is the firstborn of one of the purest bloods, families. So, like, she has to be at the meetings, technically, but nobody talks to her or listens to her. They go to her brother instead. Her brother, she learns that, everybody in the Brotherhood hates her and ignores her because they assume things about her. She learns that her brother was keeping a bunch of secrets from her. She learns, her brother kicks her out 30 minutes before the sun comes up so she could burn to death or get killed by a bunch of other reasons because she deigned to kiss a human. She deigned to make out with a human. That's why, which is Butch. And so, he, on top of, throughout the past 300 years, going through that whole entire relationship with Raph, and then being basically ostracized by her own people, and then her own brother, on top of his normal, very, controlling demeanor around her, decides that she's not good enough for him and abandons her. And then Raph's like, oh, how dare you do that, sir? And I'm like, bitch, you did it first. I'm gonna scream. Anyways, we gotta talk about the gay undertones because, Butch and Vicious, aka V, are very close. They're best friends. They're roommates, and they were roommates. Right? V was confirmed in the previous book that he is bisexual. That is a thing we know, as readers, right? Throughout this book, he is dealing with watching his best friend fall in love, and on top of the typical, like, seeing your best friend fall in love, like, they don't have enough time for you type feelings that sometimes happen. On top of that, he is also dealing with that jealousy, but he's also, like, jealous in kind of given a oh my god, my best friend is in love with somebody else kind of way. And there's a lot of undertones throughout the book, including when they indict Butch into the Brotherhood and they have to all feed off of him, and which is technically not a sexual thing, so technically not gay. And with the rest of them, it wasn't. But when it was Vicious's turn, also there's a whole point where Vicious watches them have sex unconsensually, and then he tells Butch about it later, and Butch is like, alright. Sure, fam. So there's a lot of like no homo, but so homo. It's so funny. Anyways, I spent the like last 20 pages being like, dude, what the hell is Vicious's book? Because I need to read that. Because I do think I need to read these closer together. Because a good like 200 pages of this was me being like, with the actual lower aspect of this book being like, oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Because it's been like a month. Well, don't worry, because the next one is Vicious's book, and I have it out from the library, so I may read in this one. Anyways, 3.5 stars. Not my favorite, but I still had a good time. Right? Does that make sense? Anyways, my next read was voted to be Tokyo Ghoul, and by Tokyo Ghoul, I mean finish it. So I'm just gonna go read volumes 11 through 14, and then I'll come update you with my thoughts, opinions about the whole series. Or at least those 4. It's gonna be a wild time. I'm tired. It's 11:21. But I finished Tokyo Ghoul. It's done. I never have to think about it again. I said I'm gonna watch the show. In volumes 11, 12, and 14, 3 stars. 13, 3.5. They were like all meh. But 13 was a little bit like my favorite volume. Right? So because of that, I was like, hell yeah, let's go. Ready for the last volume. And then the last volume just didn't hit. And that's a shame. And yeah. Oh, my average rating for the whole entire series is, I think, like a 3.67 or something like that. Which, because I only do full and half stars on my tracker. For average ratings means it got a 3.5 for the whole series. Not the best. The first half was all 4 stars, except for 3, and then I think it's 7's my favorite one at 3.5. And then the second half is a lot of 3s and 3.5s, and like 1 or 2 4s. They're fine. Is this clouded to anybody else? I can't tell. I think it was. Anyways, I don't want to talk about it. I'm so tired. But yeah, no, it was, I was excited for the Centipede thing, but then like it never came to a fruition. It seems every character we followed from the beginning is dead and or missing. So I don't know what happened to them. I did end up liking Juzo, is that his name? He came in, I think the volume that he's the cover of is the first volume I rated 3 stars, which is so funny. Which is basically because that one was a lot of just info dumping. I think that's 6. Because it's like he comes in and he doesn't know any of this stuff, so like you get to learn stuff with him, which means it's a lot of info dumping. Right before the big battle stuff of 7 and 8. And in these volumes, we learn more about his background, and I'm like, okay, I like his character now. And he's alive, and that's it for characters that we follow who's alive. I honestly don't know what happened to any of the main characters. What was the thing with Kaniki's favorite writer being weird? And when she met him, and then like randomly coming across the little girl he hangs out with / takes care of, and trying to give her advice on how to make Kaneki happy, like that was weird. What was with, like, we never got a conclusion with the ghoul experiments and how the ghoul hunter that we were following the whole series, who was presumably dead, I think, um, he comes across some conspiracy stuff thanks to that writer, and mixed with the ghoul experiments they do know about, and none of that comes to fruition. Um, so that's fun. What the other things? Um, oh yeah, near the end, we learn that all this started because Rise died. We know she's not dead. And the industrial brain falling on her, and then there was an organ transplant, which was that part was orchestrated by the doctor because he was doing experiments, right? We learned that she didn't. The beam didn't actually fall on her. Somebody, one of the ghouls we've seen, pushed it on her, and there's been hints that the doctor was working with people that ghoul is working with, but also that the guy who's in charge of those ghouls is the first of the one-eyed ghouls, which is like a mix between humans and ghouls, right? I think he's the head of them. So like that whole thing is just dropped, like mentioned in one panel, and then never brought up again. And that whole aspect would have been cool, but no. Also, what was the whole point of this whole entire series if he just dies in the end? Presumably. Like, his friends think he's still alive and he's gonna come back at some point, but like, as far as anybody knows, he's dead. Also, what's the whole point of him being this centipede and going, like, eating so many ghouls to be able to do that? For in the last battle, they're not doing that at all. Anyways, can you tell I'm just tired and the end of the series was a letdown? I'm gonna go to bed. I have plans to continue series tomorrow, so I'll see you then. Bye. Oh, hi, I'm here to end off a vlog. Remember when I said I had plans? Technically, I did start the next book that would have been for this, which is another Vampire Smut, because book 69 of the year. But literally the morning after I last updated you, which was Sunday morning, it is now the Monday the week after that, I woke up with a fever. Hell yeah. You know, I read nothing basically for the past week. I read one book by chipping away at it. I read one graphic novel throughout the period of 124 hours. And the other thing I read, because my library loan was due, so I speed read that bitch so fast. So fast. Otherwise I'm like reading like 10 pages a day of the current book, so there's like no way for me to finish in time for this. And if it wasn't book 69, I would totally do the next Melanie Taylor. Is that her name? Because the next one's a novella, so it's 4.5 hours for the audiobook, so I can do it in like an hour and a half, if that, right? But book 69, so I'm ending this here. I'll start the next one with book 69 because it is Vampire Smut. Real shame because I did have other books to read. I didn't read Oathbound, even though I did open it, so you know, it's just sitting here. Probably in the next one, honestly. Probably will read it this month. It's just in the next week. Anyways, you know, I don't feel good, so I haven't been reading, so I haven't really read anything the past weekend. Definitely nothing for this. Whoops. What did I even do then? Did I just read one Melanie Cellier audiobook that was kind of not good? Are they ever though? One Vampire Smut that was mid, which is about on par, and the last 4 volumes of Tokyo Ghoul. That's all I read in the past month. Oh, for continuing series, that's great. That's great. I did start a lot of series, but I decided not to continue most of them. So, you know, there's that going for me. Anyways, I don't know what the count's at now. I believe it is. I finished Tokyo Ghoul, but I did decide to continue one of the series that I started this month. So I think it's still around 59, if I remember properly, if I can do math. Can I though? That's a real question. Anyways, that's that. That's this vlog. Wild time. It's been like so long. I don't even know what happened in it. Uh, Wednesdays gaming videos. Um, Currently my time at Porsche because a friend bought it for me. I planned to play some Supermarket Simulator, but whoops. Um, and then Saturdays is this booktube, good times. Um, and every other week on Fridays there is also the podcast, so that is also a thing. There's a lot of plans and things coming up, so exciting times. And that's that. I'm gonna go start the next one promptly of this. So, this is a monthly thing. Let's go. Because I gotta get through these series. There's too many.